Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's review is about, well, how do I want to put it? It's going to be like, sort of, in the same vein as Nancy Drew, that the girl goes out and, finds mysteries, or mysteries find her. Except this one's got a difference to it. I shall show you, or at least explain. And this is the Peggy Lane series. This first book, Peggy Lane Finds the Theater, by Virginia Hughes. So the first book, if you take a look at her, who does she remind you of? Seriously. That was my first thought. And the more I read in this book, the more I'm like, holy freaking smokes, this is almost fan fiction. Anyway, kind of. This is if, Nancy Drew and oh my gosh, sorry, I was trying to find the right words to say and I completely forgot her name. How could I forget Audrey Hepburn? She's one of my favorites. No, but no, seriously, if Audrey Hepburn and Nancy Drew were mixed, Peggy Lane is who you get. Because, the way she's described, the way she acts, she reminds me a lot of Audrey Hepburn. And then one of her closest friends, someone who she meets while she's heading off to school for acting, also reminds me of Grace Kelly. So I guess this whoever Virginia Hughes, because I completely forgot if this was a ghostwriter. I don't think so. I guess she had them specifically in mind if they were to ever make a movie of the series. Audrey Hepburn and Grace Kelly would play them. Unfortunately, that's obviously not going to happen. Not only that, but I don't think a whole lot of people actually know about Peggy Lane and everything like that. The other thing is, it kinda lacks in the mystery department. In terms of exploring New York City without actually having to be there, that was fun. That, I will admit, was a lot of fun. Because having to navigate large cities gives me a little bit of, anxiety. I prefer to stay closer to home, for one thing, and in a smaller area. Whereas, in a large city where you can get lost pretty easily, which apparently Peggy does not. But then again, she follows maps pretty well. But it can be intimidating, especially for a place like New York City. But this one allows you to go there and actually, travel it without actually having to be there. You get to see everything through Peggy's eyes, everything for the first time, you get to see different parts of New York City, as she is in fact looking for a theater. And the theater that she really wants does have a mystery and it's solved within 3 chapters. So if you're looking for a Nancy Drew mystery that takes 20 chapters for the mystery, it's not going to be in this book. It could be because this book is in fact setting up characters and setting and everything like that, and is focusing more on the world building, if you will. And kind of notice that with some of the other books that I've read recently, where they're just, building up the characters and the setting and the world that they live in. I have yet to read the second book in any of those series, but it'd be interesting to see if once I go further into it, if it is in fact, first one was just to build it up, and maybe that's part of the reason why a lot of people didn't take to it as well or as quickly as they were hoping. like I said, it's still an interesting story. You still get to find looking through Peggy's eyes interesting. The people she meets. But if you're looking specifically for something like Nancy Drew that's got the same formula, this isn't it. This most definitely is not it. But you gotta need to get out there and try something new every once in a while. Try something new. However, like I said, I haven't read the second book in this series. Once I do, I can come back and say, hey, yeah, this definitely, for sure, absolutely. The first book was just to build the characters, to introduce you to the world and all that. Maybe the next one will focus more on the mystery since they've gotten all the characters out of the way and the setting out of the way. For the most part. It sounds like Peggy travels in other books, so the world might be a little different. But it also depends, because I think you could say this series focuses more on the acting. At least this book does. It was focusing more on the acting and theater aspect. So for theater kids, this might be the best thing to get for them. If they're like, oh, we kind of want something like Nancy Drew, but more theater, get them Peggy Lane. It's actually pretty inexpensive on Kindle. I want to say the majority of the series is on Kindle. You will have to search it by name. You'll have to look up the whole list and search each one up by name, because it doesn't have a series page like Nancy Drew does. I wish all the series books would have it, but not all of them do. Unfortunately, Peggy is one of those that doesn't, so you're gonna have to look it up by name itself. So, yeah. If you're gonna look into getting this. But it's definitely an interesting read. Like I said, I had a lot of fun. Especially, when she's exploring New York City and, all the different, sights and sounds that she experiences. If I'm going to read this for a travel series, I'd be very happy. It's something I definitely want to see more of, because I like travel series like this, where it's like you incorporate the world with the story. Or the country and the culture within the story. Because you still got the story, and that's part of the focus, but the other part of the focus is the world and the country, or the country wherever, that's taken place, and exploring the cultures and everything like that. That's one of the reasons why I did like this. I did give it 4 stars on Amazon, simply because I was kind of expecting a little bit more of a mystery, and it felt anticlimactic with how quickly the mystery was solved. And that was my only little issue with it, but hopefully the rest of the series does get better. I am, in fact, staying around more for the characters rather than I am, and of course the way the story is told with the setting and the cultures, than I am for the mystery aspect. This is just one of those that's just a good fun read. I don't think it's that old. It's definitely not as old as Nancy Drew. I want to say it was more of the 50s. I mean, obviously it has to be if the 2 female leads are styled very closely. I mean, very closely. If you just saw that picture, I can show it to you again. Hang on a sec. But if the 2 leads got that sense of Audrey Hepburn, Peggy here, like Audrey Hepburn and Grace Kelly. If you got that sense, yeah, this is definitely from the 50s. It's got the little bit of that, that class. So maybe 60s is what if... Sorry, I just paused. I was thinking back to a moment in the book where they said the gay 90s. I was like, this wasn't written in 2000, right? It could have been, though. I mean, some of the stuff that they has is pretty recent. But the two main leads are styled very much about after Audrey Hepburn and Grace Kelly, which I thought was a lot of fun. I don't know about the other leads. They didn't have anything that really jumped out at me in relations to like other celebrities. But maybe if you read it and you're like, oh yeah, I actually recognize this actor and this character, great. Let me know, because I don't know. And I have this little suspicion that more than just the main two are supposed to be based on, or at least similar to, famous people. And obviously such classy people as Audrey Hepburn and Grace Kelly, such wonderful women. So, yeah. But this book was a lot of fun to read. I hope you give it a chance. Again, it is on Kindle, obviously, and fairly inexpensive. Majority of the series is there. And like I said, you're going to have to look up the full list and look up each book by its full title to get the name, because you're not going to be able to find a series list page on the Amazon stores if you're, wanting to get the whole series at once. But if you're into theater, if you're, want a little bit of mystery to go with your exploration and acting and theaters, this is definitely the book for you. Definitely check it out. I mean, even if it isn't your thing, definitely check it out. It's a fun read. Great exploration of New York City. Of course, and I can say that because I've never been to New York City. But, it was definitely a fun little read. Like I said, if you're looking more for the mystery aspect, you're going to be a little disappointed like I was. And like I said, it was only a little disappointed. Everything else, was pretty strong. But I think that's all I got to say. If you call, I do have a series of fan fictions based on other books. The Linda Carlton, Arden Blake, Tom Corbett, Mike Mars, all that. Peggy Lane is going to be part of that as well. She's going to be going to Cedar Ridge with Arden, because, Cedar Ridge is going to have the acting degrees. So, she's going to be part of that world as well in my fan fiction. So keep an eye out for her. She's going to have her own stories later. As for the supernatural beings she's going to deal with, I don't know why, but vampires seem to be the one that works. Remember, this was inspired by The Sims 4 as well, and The Sims 4's got the wizards, vampires, mermaids, and aliens so far. And they might in fact add more, we'll see. We've got some more packs coming out. Kinda hoping for a few more, but like I said, we'll see. But once that happens, it'll be great. Anyways, so yes, keep an eye out for that. That's the fanfiction I'm writing for Peggy Lane. It's not gonna be for a while. We've got Arden and the trio of Tom Corbett, Linda Carlton, and Mike Mars. Peggy will show up a little bit here and there in Arden's story because, they go to the same college and they're going to meet up eventually. But, yeah, just to give you a heads up if you like that. If not, check out this book. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, share if you can, and please, and thank you. And I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless.